Oh, man. Oh, God. Too much to drink. Yet again. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Sunday, brunch, stream. You know, I don't know about you, but on the menu for me, I'm going to start this morning off with a beer. I need it. And I'll tell you what, give me a ding dong. Give me a freaking big ding dong. Oh, what? It's not healthy? You know, you think about it. Breakfast food is I eat some pancakes with some syrup, butter. Think all the calories and carbs. Talk about that. I'm drinking a beer in the morning like I care about that. Like I care about that. Just let me do this. I don't give a damn if it's not healthy. Not like eating waffles and pancakes is healthier. Man. It's insane anymore what's going on. Doesn't make any sense. And I feel like we're living in some crazy world. I feel like we're living in a reality that can't possibly exist. Like something happened. Is there like some sort of weird dimensional shift or something? Did we fall into a void? Are we in hell? That's a legitimate question. Yeah, we've been talking about some real stuff here. Getting it off our chest. And some YouTube drama stuff, maybe. Gotta mention the Thorps. Might talk a little bit about the Yippaverse or whatever. On the topic of the Thorps, it's been a while. I wanted to talk about them last weekend, but I was a bit busy. But we'll do it here. Okay. Guys, it's a brunch stream. Get your mimosa or Bloody Mary ready. Whatever it is you need. Hey, Caboose, the tiger? Yeah, the tiger. Always the tiger. Tiger or wolf? All right, man. You know what? I need to chug this thing. And that's how you start a morning. never really got into Bloody Marys. I'm not, the idea of drinking tomato juice does not sound good to me. I don't like tomato juice. I like tomatoes and spaghetti and pizza and salsa. Just give me a beer. Just give me a beer. I'll get over my hangover with a beer. Right? I don't know. Maybe I've never really tried it. I was tearing up. I was crying. I was. Because right now I can feel it. Another porn star died. They're dropping like flies because we talk about them. Maybe not. It's just so sad. So sad. All right, but real news. Oh, actually, I gotta pee now. You know what? I'll tell you what. We just started. Can't go use the restroom now. What are the chances I pee myself throughout the stream? We'll find out. We'll find out. All right. Now that I have my breakfast for champions, ready to go, I'm set. Let's do this. Let's do this. Hey, if you're watching right now, press the like button. You know? Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. But yeah, insanity. Insane world we live in. The first thing I'm going to talk about, I can't even show on the screen. How freaking crazy it is. There is a video on X. It's a little blurred. I might be able to show that. I should be able to show that. Let's see what we can do with that here. Hold on here. Let me get this all set up here. Should have done this earlier. Here we go. Here we go. It's real news, guys. Real news. What you're seeing there. Wow. You may not believe this. In the previous stream, I talked about how the Haitians, because, Haiti fell into a cannibalistic holocaust, a cannibalistic hellhole, because Trump was right. And I said, watch this. They're going to come across the border and bring their cannibalistic ways to California. And I was wrong. And the reason why I was wrong is not because the Haitians aren't here. They are here. You and I both know they got here like the next day because the borders are wide open. Okay? But the reality is, California already has cannibals. In fact, they have flat out zombie cannibals. This guy right here is proof of that. I kid you not. And I saw the uncensored version. The uncensored version is wild and broad freaking daylight. Judging by that light, it might be like noon, maybe. Okay? The guy is walking around with a human leg, a severed human leg, fresh from an accident, and he's chomping on it. He's tearing into that flesh like it's a turkey leg at the Renaissance Fair. He doesn't care. He seems to be enjoying it. He holds on to that leg like a squirrel with a precious nut. He doesn't care. He's in heaven. He likes it. He enjoys it. Which is like, okay, this tells me this is not the first time this guy has done this sort of thing. Okay? This is not the first time this guy has eaten human flesh before. The cannibals are in California. They've been there. Okay? You got to think about it. With the drugs going around, fentanyl going around, already they're posing like zombies, walk around like zombies. Now they are eating like zombies. And let me tell you something. Like, this might be part of the plan. You understand? When those upper elites, when those World Economic Forum people get together and they say we want to reduce the carbon, remember, we are the carbon. And making a situation where the homeless eat the homeless or eat other people, hey, they don't care. It's not going to come to them because those guys live in gated communities with armed security that are going to shoot. And no one's going to report it because they also own the media. Real talk, right? Real talk. Oh, that's depressing news. That's a downer. So take your suicide pills then, if you need that. Take your depression pills if you need that. You should be pissed off and mad about it. Pissed off and mad about it. Right, Kat? That's right. That's right. You should be pissed off and mad about it. Or just laugh at it. Just laugh at it. We live in a hellhole, man. You understand? What I said in the beginning was not hyperbolic. It's like something happened. And what was once a decent place to live, a good place to live, has like deteriorated into a shithole. I'm gonna have to watch my language. I have my son in the room. I tell him, hey, don't ever cuss. Don't ever cuss. Man, it doesn't make any sense, right? So let me play this video. Like, this is real. This is real. Like, the guy is sitting here. He's standing. Okay. You see him. He's chowing down on it. He's chomping on it. And this, by the way, this dude, this leg came from an accident on a train. And a homeless guy apparently walked up there and just took the leg, walked away from the crime. See, it's blurred out. It's blurred out, YouTube. It's blurred out. It's blurred out. I don't even trust YouTube anymore. Okay. So I'm not going to play the rest of it. But you can see he's holding something that's blurred out. It's not a penis. It's a severed leg. Okay. And he's eating it. And then he walks around with it and he's like throwing it around, like waving it around. It looks so weird. It almost looks like a Halloween prop, but it's not. It's real. Let's see, he's walking around with it. He don't care. He don't give it to him. He's like this. He's like, this is my food. This is my food. I'm feeding myself here. You know? And some people might be, oh, the poor homeless man. This man wants to be homeless. This is like, okay. You know, this guy right here. That way we have a problem. America, we have a problem. We have a lot of homeless, right? And there's programs out there to help them find homes, except a lot of them don't want to find homes because they'd rather do drugs and live out in the open and be crazy. It's true. And also those programs suck too. It's like a half-assed attempt to help them find a home, and they don't really care. That's all racket. It's all racket. And you don't believe, I mean, there's whole documentaries on that shit. But yeah, a guy like this is not going to live in a home unless he's allowed to eat the tenant in the home. I mean, is that an option? I mean, he could actually do that now with the laws in California. He's trying to get a leg up in life. I like that. But really, the laws on the books right now with the no bail crap, with no cash bail, like criminals are realizing this. You can just break into people's homes and take over the home. Okay, I mean, New York has this problem. California has this problem. Like, this problem's everywhere. Okay, even Texas has this problem of squatters. We're getting to squatters a little bit, but related to this story with the consumption of human flesh, let's talk about something real fast. How popular do you think that is? How common do you think that is? It's pretty common to where there's a news article on it where people have been eating human flesh, trying their own flesh, see what it's like. I talked about this once on the horror podcast, and I was looking over this stuff. I'm like, this isn't really Sunday brunch content, you know? Hey guys, let's get together, eat some omelets and eggs and French toast, maybe a ding dong and some beer, and talk about cannibals. Yeah, you hear about those cannibals in California? Crazy, man, crazy. You have people going, oh, I want to try my flesh. I want to try my meat. I want to eat me. I want to eat myself. And they've been doing that. Of course, let me tell you something. If you don't believe me, go on Facebook and dig around a bit. You could find cannibal groups. You could join them. They'll tell you about recipes and stuff. Some are very much out in the open. Some are low key. It takes a while. It does take some work to find them because they do get shut down pretty quick. But you know what? That would be an experiment to play. We'll look at that in a later stream probably. What does this say here? What does human flesh taste like? Sick cannibal confessions go viral. Spanish social media star Paula Ganu sickened fans earlier this month after revealing that she ate her own knee cartilage during a romantic date with her. Well, so it's a romantic dinner date. Look at that. Nothing says romance like eating your own flesh, sharing your flesh. I mean, that. Hey, if you're not willing to eat your girlfriend's or your wife's, I don't know, girlfriend, wife, or whatever. If you're not willing to eat your girl's cartilage or knee cartilage, then it's not really romance, okay? It's just not. I think I might. I don't have any whiskey near me, but that would be shot worthy right there. That would be. I need to wash that down with something that burns. Wow. It says, however, the beauty is far from the first person to publicly profess to sample some human flesh. Murderers, plane crash survivors, investigative authors have all spoken about how humans taste, and some liken the flesh to tuna, while others compared it to chicken. It tastes like pig. Oh, how do I know? Ooh. You do Wiccan witchcraft. That's similar to cannibalism. That's right. I cast a spell once, a couple times. It's very effective, by the way. I am a level 5 warlock. I don't talk about it much, but I guarantee you, I could school Gothic King Cobra. I could school him in wizardry, and I don't even practice that much. In fact, the reason why I stopped practicing is because I'm just too effective. Just am. But yeah, I mean, chanting stupid spells on a stupid book is the same as eating human flesh. Okay, Bizdits. You might have to work on your stuff there, bro. That's similar to cannibalism. Yeah. Okay, bro. Okay. I think we found the retard in the chat. But, hey, thanks for it. Because your host is retarded, too. Which is why I could say that word. It's true. You see me reading this article. It takes forever. In 2006, NHC System Technologies in my university in Japan developed a robot capable of tasting and identifying different wines, cheeses, and meats. And they use this on human flesh. And so, what? Why would you do that? Claiming the human hand was bacon? Yeah. Whoa. They had a machine. So it's okay. Of course, some Japanese factory or research team is going to come up with a machine that can detect the flavors of different things. Okay. And they used it with human flesh, and it was like, human flesh tastes like bacon. Okay. So it doesn't sound too bad, though, actually, honestly. I mean, if it tastes like bacon, if this man right here, this homeless man right here, is just got a severed limb, I mean, no one else is going to do anything with it. They're going to just, throw it away? I mean, what do you do with that? But the guy's dead in pieces. The guy that was in the accident. So at that point, there's nothing really to bury. I guess anyone know what they do on that point? If there's someone who was like severed and mutilated in an accident, what do they do with that body? They don't. Do they fix it up just enough to bury it if the family wants it buried? I think they're like, oh man, no, it's damaged beyond. We're gonna have to burn it or some shit. I mean, what do you do with that? But you hear this guy takes advantage of it. I mean, if it tastes like bacon, good for him, man. Good for him. In fact, I tell you what, that leg that he's eating, It's probably healthier than those McDonald's and Taco Bell. You know, you eat Taco Bell, you have to take a dump like within the next 5-10 minutes. Eat a human leg. I mean, you're probably better off. I don't know. Sounds like it would taste better. But here's the thing. This guy didn't even cook the leg. This guy has a leg here, and he's just chowing into it raw. Bloody. Ooh, disgusting. Nasty. Okay. Let's see. This article also says a cameraman also carried out the same action. So he tried with a robot, revealing the human's hand also tastes like prosciutto. You're gonna have to tell me what that is. It sounds like some sort of a Italian dish. But okay, so we know that it tastes like bacon. Tastes like pig. Okay. Nasty. Let's see. Chunks of a quadricep muscles were taken from foot's thigh, analyzed under a microscope, and before being cooked up, chemically tasted. Okay. Given that eating human flesh is outlawed in the UK, researchers revolving the taste test tried to recreate the exact flavor of the mussels based on the aroma they emitted while cooking. The researchers claimed the accuracy of around 80%. The subsequent concoction. Wow. See, like I said, No Child Left Behind, practically retarded, cannot even read an article. They subsequently concocted a burger using lamb and pork based on the taste, which they provided to Foot. The science presenter then filmed chowing down on the meat mixture, which he claimed tasted a bit beefy. Okay, so people are. Okay, here's a part where this guy's. Whoa, what the hell? Japan's cannibal killer Sagawa also murdered and ate a fellow college student in 1981. Yeah, so there are definitely historical accounts of this. But as we see here, as we know in 2024, we don't have to look to history. We can just look to now. You have cannibals still running around crazy in Haiti, but no one cares, right? I mean, Haiti is a show. And then you have them over here in California just chowing down. So that's crazy news, guys. Crazy news. And when you take it into the situation that's going on with squatters, it's just setting up a recipe for a bad situation to happen. I mean, we're living in a crazy world, man. Crazy world. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, we have squatters now. Well, that's not a new thing. But they got more bolden. I mean, some woman, in New York and Queens, gets arrested for changing the locks on her own door of her own house. Why? Because the laws protect the squatters. They have some crazy law where, like, within 30 days, if someone's living there in 30 days, it's their home. But it's my home. I paid for it, or I have the money, or I have rights to the property. But no, it's their home. They live there. Like, that's crazy. That is insane there. Like, if property rights aren't respected anymore, we're in a horrible situation. You understand this? There was that guy on TikTok telling everybody, telling all sorts of people that you could just take homes. You could just go in there and take abandoned homes and claim it for yours. You know, like, just take it, live there, and it could be yours. And then you have stories, apparently, people already doing this, like in New York or whatever, where they're living in the home, and like, they'll go there, the police will go there, they'll find like a crime scene. Like, their body parts, there's blood everywhere. Like flesh in the sink, blood in the sink, blood on the floor, on the walls, whatever. The body's dismembered, all this stuff. Very gross, very nasty. And they'll be arrested, but they'll be released and go back home. Go back to their home. The person's body parts are spread all around the house. Was the person who actually lived in the home. So if you're following me on this, and with the previous cannibal story, okay, it's very possible now, if you ever wanted to be a psychopath, a psychopath, if you ever wanted to be a serial killer and play like GTA 5 or GTA 6 in real life, now's the time to do it. Now you can do it. Seize the day. Carpe diem. Robin Williams said that once. Okay? Like, you can. If you're in New York, it sounds like anyway. You could just go in someone's home and no one knows anything. Make the tenant disappear. Literally, well, actually, you don't have to do it that well, because even if the body parts are all there, whatever, they arrested you, it looks like there was a murder there. But they're going to go ahead and release you anyway. Then you go back in there and live in your filth, whatever. I'd be a murderous little psychopath. It is insane, right? It isn't. It's like, you try to be like, okay, this can't be reality. This isn't really happening. This isn't really America. There's no way, like, people are invading homes, killing the tenants, killing the homeowners, and living there. But they are. They are. I mean, it's crazy. And some people hearing this, I know especially my neighbors hearing this, but well, that won't happen in Texas. Newsflash for you, squatter issues are happening in Texas too. East Texas has a huge squatter problem as well. Be like, well, they should shoot. Hey, there's plenty of people who have guns, but some don't want to shoot. Some people don't want to use that, right? They were like, oh, I don't know. Like, if you have multiple properties and one's like vacant or whatever, looking for renters, you might as well, like, you need to be in there. You need to be in the home, like, at least every week, because someone's gonna break in and squat there, and it's gonna be like hell to get them out. It's insane. And I'm thinking, the communist won. I mean, that's where it goes to. The communist won. I mean, think about it. If you don't have property rights anymore, if you can't say, hey, that's my house, I live there, but some homeless person, actually not all more homeless. Some people just are pretty smart because they know the loopholes of the laws, that they take advantage of that. And they can go in your home. They know the loopholes and know how to take advantage. So they're going to do that. You'd be like, but that's my home. Nope. They live there now. But they're not even a tenant. I'm not renting out the property. Nope. They live there now. And you try to do something about it. You try to kick them out. The police arrest you. You understand how crazy that is? It's insane. It is flat out bonkers, man. Oh, man. All right. Squatters and cannibals. Let's talk about the Thorps a little bit. I need to catch up on something real fast. I need to catch up on this. So I was wanting to talk about this last weekend, but stuff pops up, and I couldn't. This is pretty sick. Let me do one thing before I get into this. Let me touch on Vickers. Let me do that first. And for those watching, some of you guys may not know who Vickers is. That's okay. But for my neighbors, he's the reason why cops were knocking on my door. Okay. Why the cops are knocking on my garage door and my door, and desperately trying to get me into something, which I handled a certain way, but it's whatever. But Vickers is back. Sort of. I'm pretty sure it's an account hack or whatever. Vickers is the father of the daughter that got knocked up by Ethan Ralph. This guy right here. This guy right here. This guy right here. Okay. And this guy, being the father of the daughter that got knocked up by this guy here, was very pissed. Was very pissed that his daughter, who left the home. Like, he lives in California. His family lives in California. And she flew out. She left to go to Virginia? To go to Virginia to live with Ethan Ralph. To be Ethan Ralph's in-house, be his girl. And in that process, we a lot of us in the know what happened. A whole thing, there was a sex tape. She got knocked up, and a whole ordeal happened there. And Vickers is stuck with taking care of the baby, helping Faith with that. And for the longest time, Vickers was going hard on Ralph for child support, to the point to where, long story short, Ethan Ralph leaves to Mexico. He runs to Mexico, as they say, tries to evade it. Okay, but he's still trying to fight for some sort of rights for his kid, be able to see his kid and all that stuff. Okay. But Vicious Vickers, the real Vickers anyway, pretty much wasted all his money on child support. Let me tell you something. Like, child support, like depending on the situation, you could bring in some good money there, but you gotta realize that if it costs that much, if it's costing thousands upon thousands of legal fees, you've already made a mistake. Like, Ethan Ralph is not going to pay. He's never going to pay. He's never, ever, ever, ever going to pay. And if the other baby daddy listens, he's never going to pay. He might as well stop. Just stop. Just stop trying to go for child support. Okay? Just stop. It's not going to work. He's not going to pay. And you'll end up like Matthew Vickers. You'll end up like him. Broke. Apparently this guy was already in debt, and he's just broke even more. But his account is back. His account is back here, and I like this. If I could successfully sue 50 anons who caused me mental anguish, and they each owe me $10,000, I could keep filing lawsuits against Ethan Ralph. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Trust No B. I like this one. I like this one a lot. Trust No B. He comes back with an attitude, but some people have realized it is a bot account, or not a bot account, just account hack. So once again, another win for Ethan Ralph there, and a big L for the Vickers clan, and I guess the Ralph haters. And here's how petty this stuff gets, this YouTube drama. Because I phrased it in that way, they'll be like, oh, you're a Ralph ML, or you're a Ralph supporter, you're a Gunt Guard. Because it's like teams. It's like a team sport here. That stuff is all gay, like extremely homosexual there. Like, you could just call it for what it is. Just call it for what it is. What's exactly going on here? I mean, you had like a butthurt grandfather trying to go after Ethan Ralph. Yeah, his show was dwindling and having issues and all that stuff, and he wasn't helping himself with all the drinking and drugs and all that and crazy shenanigans he was getting himself into. But like why have like personal stake in it? Why be personally invested and really care that much? Like, we have, like, come on, man. That's just dumb. That's just dumb. To me, like, these are all just characters, and it's just funny to me. It's funny to laugh at this stuff and look at it. Anyway. So let's go to the Thorps. Okay. So this family is insane. All right. The dad pretty much, long story short, they live in Rhode Island, where it's legal for dads and daughters to be very close, if you know what I'm saying. And you know what I'm saying, and I mean what I'm saying. I could say this from this interview here, from what we hear here. It is safe to say that Ben 100%, and don't worry, he doesn't have any money to sue you anyway, 100% has carnal relations with his own daughter. Very, very disgusting. Very disgusting. Appalling. Shilin says, keep her name out of your mouth. What? I just said her name now, in the first time in a long time. So we found another retard in the chat there. Thank you. The last time I said Shilin was just now, seconds ago, and then I guess a couple more, maybe about a minute ago, in the previous comment. So, in fact, Shilin is such a who that I stopped doing my little horror video series on her because I'm like, no, all right. Anyway,
on some kind of crime show, like, you wouldn't fucking believe what happens when the camera's off.
All right.
Right? Oh, have a drink. Have a drink. Refresh yourself.
You look like you're gonna cry, and then you hold back because you're so
I don't have to say anything. Just watch this. This is insane.
afraid of your daddy doing something to you.
There's Ben just kicked the daughter, right? And this guy also called the police on me. I was saying there's consequences for actions. But yet when you ask him, what about the consequence for his actions? He'd be like, what actions? He'll act like he was driven to it. Like he couldn't control himself. Ben, there's consequences for actions, for your behavior. You decided to kick your daughter. You decided to do that. And I noticed you've been quiet for a while. I guess things are getting real. I guess things are really getting real, right? I don't know. We'll find out.
Kickboxing is fully legal in all 50 states.
People see your behavior on stream and
Was he kickboxing his daughter?
they think, imagine what they do off stream. I want to know the truth.
Oh, and this guy's a sicko. Mr. Girl, he's the guy who really loved Cutie so much. He said publicly on YouTube that he really got off to it. Disgusting, nasty, should be drawn and quartered. But, or maybe I should say, or yet, the one thing he did here in this interview with Ben, because it takes a sicko to get a sicko to confess, has he almost got a confession. He got just enough to where it's like, oh yeah. For those that had any doubt, there's still people who have doubt that Ben and Grace are like, what's this thing? That Ben and Grace are doing this. It's like, you really have doubt? How dumb are you? Like, you are dumb, okay?
About your relationship that you dangle in front of everybody. I want to know.
You want to know from me, do you fuck your daughter? I don't have daddy issues. I have daddy solutions.
I have daddy solutions. Okay.
Hey, folks.
Rich.
Live here on Thorps TV.
By the way, thank you for catching on the Sunday brunch here. Let me know if you're drinking a mimosa or a Bloody Mary, or just doing a breakfast beer or whatever. And, yeah, press that like button, man. Sunday brunch. Try to do this every Sunday. Let's continue.
Fascinating day today. Crazy day today. I had a 9 o'clock court appearance. I hope. Hey, Judge, if you're listening out there.
This is why this guy's full on hard R retarded. Okay? Like, he wants to bring the judge into his content. And the judge is aware of his content already. And the judge, according to Ben anyway, his own little breakdown of the whole procedure, is like the judge is appalled by what he's doing.
Is it okay that I listened to the words that you said, and then as soon as I left that courtroom, wrote them down? Is that okay? As best as I can recall? Is that okay, buddy? Because what you said made no fucking sense. And I'll say that again. What you said made...
Like, Ben tries so hard to, like, gaslight people, to, like, convince people of the other thing. But, like, the only person who buys his bullcrap seems to be Grace. Even the people around him, or kind of around him, know he's full of crap.
Makes no fucking sense at all. And I think your career may just be over because of what you said.
That's right. Ben's gonna take the judge to Supreme Court. You kind of need money to do that, Ben.
You want to make court into a gay BDSM? I don't play that way.
According to the sex toys, you probably do. This guy has a collection of sex toys like dildos and ball gags and stuff. I think in this video he brings out I think he ball gags himself.
I am a citizen, a Catholic, a father of 6. I deserve some fucking respect, and you deserve to answer
You bang your daughter. You deserve zero respect.
some basic questions as to why I'm being put through this fucking rigmarole.
Take a shower. This guy stinks. From what I understand, this guy smells like rotten, sour onions. Okay? All the time. Take a shower, Ben. Take a shower.
And I don't give a fuck about your career. And I don't give a fuck about the Warren Police Department's careers either. What the fuck, guy?
Oh, now you don't like them. You like them when you call the police on me. Oh, and he'll be like, I didn't do it. Grace did it. Okay, you're splitting hairs there. And that's what this guy always does. He'll fixate on a technicality. Look, he looks like he'll take a dump. Gotta take a dump. Nasty.
Whoever made that fucking decision, and this guy who made his fucking decision, well, I was fucking listening, and I'm no dummy. And I live in the United States of America, and there's such a fucking thing as the First fucking Amendment. And
I think he's gonna say it's the First Amendment right to kick his daughter because it was all just a bit.
women are people, and adult women are people, and this makes no sense. I didn't do shit.
Ben, you need to take responsibility for your actions there, bro. You're sounding like a child.
I didn't do shit.
We saw you kick your daughter. You kicked your daughter. I could say 100% you can't sue. You don't got the money anyway. You kicked your daughter. It's not allegedly. You flat out did it. You flat out freaking kicked her, dude.
That deserves fine. You a judge is now saying he doesn't like my content. Hey, judge, suck it.
That judge is gonna make you suck it. I don't think you understand the power dynamic here, man. I don't think you understand who holds the cards. You're acting like you got a pocket pair of aces when really you just got a pair of twos.
You are sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States. I don't want to hear about your emotional problems, your daddy issues.
He doesn't even have a pair of twos. He has like a 2 and like maybe like a 5 or something.
You're here on behalf of the government. I'm going to go through what I reconstructed as I have an unofficial transcript. Okay, so the judge says,
and by the way, this is a transcript he put together himself. This is how. It's like, what in the world, dude? You have too much time on your hands. Get a job. The man doesn't have a job. He cannot work. Okay? I mean, he can if he wasn't lazy. I like how there's a lot of people in this sector or whatever that just flat out don't have jobs. I'm like the only one who has a job. I'm like the only one in this sector that has a job. That's sad. That's sad. There's a lot of homelessness around, or unemployment around.
what's your question? I said, I don't know why I'm here. The judge says, okay, you're here because you were charged with a criminal offense. You're here for the arraignment. Now he's acting like a judge. He's clarifying why I'm here. Although I'm asking the question, how am I here if the definitions aren't met? And the judge,
well, Ben, you're for arraignment. That's not the time to ask about the definitions and clarify that. The arraignment hearing is really just about setting things up for the next hearing. All that's about is, okay, do you need an attorney? We can appoint one for you. It's to take care of that stuff. It's to hopefully take care of the matters that could come up in the first hearing, the first real hearing, if you didn't already do it. Okay.
Judge said, well, let's find out. On March 9th, 2024, at approximately 9:14 p.m., the Warren Police Department received information from the Providence Police, an anonymous tip that a resident in our town was kicking his daughter on a YouTube live stream on the YouTube channel called Thorps TV Livestream. The defendant gets up and walks away, and the victim appears to start crying and becoming hysterical. Then I said, it was something I think a little before this. Can I just ask how this could there could possibly be some sort of ground for these charges, since
Ben, there's a freaking video. You're gonna argue with the judge? How could it be grounds for this?
It doesn't meet the definition of assault or battery. He said, sir, and he got very loud because he's a bitch. First of all, this is absurd. I said, I agree. He didn't like that at all. He said, I mean, your actions are absurd. Entertaining the world by pretending to beat up your daughter? The judge, fuck you. I got...
He has rights. He has a constitutional right to beat up his daughter. He has a constitutional right to beat up his daughter. Judge, I'm in America. I done free speech. I done the First Amendment. So what if I kick my daughter? It was dodge as an act, bro. When Ben goes to jail, I want him to do like the Randy thing from South Park. Be like, I thought this was America. I thought this was America, man. We mean I can't beat up my daughter.
Right. If you don't want to get in the ring with me, then don't get in the ring. Dismiss the charges. Let me go. And tell them.
Oh, no, dude. He's going to put you in a ring, all right. He's going to put you in a cell, all right? And you're not going to have any opportunity to argue definitions on anything because you're going to have something in your mouth.
Fucking city of Warren to start acting like reasonable people and exercise discretion.
Stop it.
But if you want to get in the ring with me, let's fucking go.
Yeah, good evening, Ben. I just would like to say
Okay, Hormaxer, who's the guy beneath Ben. By the way, let's make this bigger. There's like this lesbian person here with no hair. Hideous, horrible. I don't know what you're doing. You're making mistakes in your life. I know nothing about this person, but I can tell you that she's crazy. Anyway.
good evening. I'd just like to tell you, Ben, I'd like you to enjoy prison. Get used to it. Bend over. Maybe you can get a pump. Maybe something.
Wait. This matters for you. Wait, what do you think
be...
about this woman over here?
Yeah,
General?
let's. Thank you, Ben.
She's a rotter. She's a fucking rotter. I don't care for her. I don't like her.
She's a rotter. She probably is. I could smell from here. Yeah, girl, you ain't taking care of that down below. It's rotten. It's rotten, man.
She's bald, she's dysgenic, and she has fucking cat ears. Grow up. I want you
Hey,
to...
Dave, in the chat, how's it going? Description is factually accurate. Of course it is. It's Sunday brunch. We're keeping up with the Thorps right now. We talked about cannibals earlier. We already talked about squatters a bit.
Enjoy prison.
Well, but Hormack,
tell her to get a wig.
You admit she's kind of pretty.
Get a wig.
How does this judge decide that as a judge, he has a right to comment on what I can pretend or not pretend to do?
Judges do that all the time, bro.
Pretend to do anything I want. I can make a movie about blowing the entire fucking world to smithereens, right?
Make that movie, Ben. Make a movie where you're blowing up the world. It looks different as a movie. Okay. Anyway.
Wants to put on all different kinds of robes. Now he's what? A psychologist. And he says, or a priest, you need some mental health assistance. Why? Because I pretended to be.
Judges can make that. They could go, what do you think they do? What do you think? You never heard of a judge sentencing someone to like for their mental health instead of going to prison? Instead of going to prison, they go to they go into treatment. That happens. Judges can order that. They can order all sorts of stuff, dude. They can order you to shut your fucking mouth. I'm sorry, that was a swear. It's Sunday. We got to be more classy. It's the day of Jesus. Oh, I'm drinking quite a bit, though. You know, I'm a Protestant. It doesn't matter to me. Really, I could just pray right now. There. You didn't hear it because that was a private prayer. Okay. To me and from me to the big guy. Okay.
Up my daughter on stream. Okay. He said, don't respond to me any further. Then I said, yes, sir. And then I realized that that's a response. Now we get into Kafka. And I said, oh, sorry. And he said, he thought I said, well. So he said, well, what? I said, no, I said, yes, sir. And you told me not to respond. He said, okay. And he got really hysterical at this point. Then this is his big speech.
That was funny. That was top tier. That was really good. I liked how they put that Kafka book there. Ben's face on it. That was good.
Your theatrical presentation
touch
in the
there,
courtroom
Naptown.
isn't necessary.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Naptown. Shout out.
Sorry. What theatrical presentation? This isn't Judge. Who is being theatrical here? This bitch. You might not like what I do on YouTube, nigga, then get on the panel and talk to me. But take your fucking robes off and put your fucking gloves on, because let's go. The judge acted like a total bitch and didn't.
So the judge might say, well, Ben, are you threatening to fight me? Or do you want to kick me like you kicked your daughter? Should I ramp up these charges now?
Answer my question.
We have a 1v1 request
Oh boy.
between Ben and Andrew,
What's this verbal combat?
and the topic they want is, can fathers love too much?
Well, the thing is, though,
Ben means this. Okay. Ben means this. And I'm sure Andrew Wilson of the Crucible will say, no bueno. No good. Fathers and daughters should not. No bueno. Don't do that, Ben. Stop doing that. We know you still are. We know you do it all the time. You say when the camera's off, it gets crazy. We know what that means, Ben. It's disgusting. It's gross. Stop it.
so Ben, can you explain to me why you thought it was a good idea to go on Lolcow Live and lean more into the incest stuff again? Do you think that that's really going to propel your career? Because it hasn't.
Yeah. Hey, that's what we were thinking. But at this time, just let Ben do what Ben's going to do because he's an idiot.
All right, so that's a separate debate.
Yeah, but that's
But
part
I
of the
guess we're
loving
gonna
the
go
daughter
there.
too
So-
much.
So do we
The whole
agree?
point was leaning into it, right? The whole point is that you lean into this shit. Why do you keep leaning into it? Why won't you just stop?
Well, okay, so you're saying this is the debate?
I'm saying that that's what the setup seems to be.
Well, on the
that
Lolcow
they're making-
Live, a guy said that Grace was degenerate. I came on to say, like, what do you mean degenerate? He said
Grace says that women, girls have daddy issues should find their daddy and suck their daddy's. That's what Grace says. Grace even admitted herself that she has very close relations with her dad. Grace is degenerate. Grace is flat out degenerate. You could say that 100% fact and be right on that 100%. By the way, hey, thanks for watching Sunday Brunch stream. Press that like button if you don't mind. Helps me out quite a bit. And if there's any other topics you want me to get into afterwards, let me know. We could do that.
you say you flirt with your daughter, and I explained flirting,
and you
then I
leaned
was
into
bounced.
it again. You just keep.
Okay, but
leaning
that's
into
actually
it.
not leaning in.
It is leaning into
so
it.
I will give you an answer to your question why I'm willing to make statements, which I think if you read them straightforwardly are not controversial. I'm not being a provocateur, but I do think that a lot of young people, especially on the internet, are seen as dangerous and sexually dangerous to interact with. And I do think that's a huge problem. I don't think it's a problem. For example, a lot of people on the internet think that if I was to flirt with a girl who's under 18, flirt, in other words, which means playfully talk,
See, but
depending
that's
on
the
her
problem,
age,
right?
Holy crap. Andrew Wilson didn't even ask about that. Andrew Wilson didn't even set up Ben to fall into that sort of trap. Ben willingly just threw that out there. Like, Ben traps himself. Ben is the sort of guy that'll drop down a rake and step right on it, hit him square in the face and do it again. Oh my God.
The language right there, right? That's
So I have a
it's-
chatter. Yeah, well,
it's
I think
it's unnecessarily provocative, and the only purpose of it is to lean into it because you think it drives controversy. It's always been a
no,
stupid
I
tactic.
think it's actually an
Just like
important point.
if you, because of your age, if you were a person who made an offhand comment of, oh yeah, I like to flirt, with girls who are around me or something like this, as a throwback, I think that people would have been fine with it. But instead, you just keep running with it and running with it and running with it while the entire internet eviscerates you. Why do you do that? Stupid.
Well, because I think there's a moral hysteria. I think there's a
Yeah, but I
Phariseeism
think
and a
that
moral
grace.
hysteria
I think that
needs to be
grace
pushed back on by good men like me.
but what you've done by proxy of doing this is you've wrecked Grace's career.
Well, actually, the problem with that, though, Andrew, is you're acting as if Grace actually has a chance, really. Grace has kind of a chance in that she is attractive. People are going to look at her. People are going to go watch her, right? But the longer she starts talking, and especially when she gets into dating areas and father relations, it gets really weird. And it's because of what she says, because she's part of this relationship. Like, her relation with Ben, how close it is, remember, it's this, is normal to her. And she thinks that's normal. Okay? So, she's messed up, dude. She's messed up.
Fucking stupid. Why did you? I still don't really understand why you did that, because by you leaning into it, what Grace is famous for on the internet, and she's not famous, but what she's famous for on the internet is that people think that you had sex with her, Ben. That's what.
Well, Andrew, that was inevitable on the internet because I'm an extremely good-looking, charming guy, and Grace is an extremely good-looking, charming girl, and we have a nice chemistry.
There's
on
plenty,
the internet,
there's plenty of good-looking people who aren't accused of incest.
On the
Ben.
internet, people are going to say incest.
Yeah, some people. So there's a minority.
Inevitability.
There's a minority of trolls who might make those wild, outrageous claims, and people would dismiss them, except that you lean into them.
You know who started making
it
them
has
first?
gotten to the point.
Christians like you. Christians.
Yeah, I
like
never.
You. Not you.
I
I made it pretty early on. because we heard it. I heard it, and other people I was with heard it, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is flat out happening. It's sick.
Not you.
I never
Christian.
affirmed that was true. In fact, I said that people were stupid and that it was a bit that you dumbasses wouldn't drop. But that's what she's famous for. What she's famous for is.
But it's not a bit. They do it. They do it.
Being a lolcow who people laugh at because they think that she has sex with you, Ben.
Do you really think they think that? No, they don't think that.
I've seen enough now.
Ben, 100%. Anyone who knows about you, who really knows about you, believes you do 100%. That's a fact. That is a fact. The judge by now probably thinks you do as well. But it's legal in Rhode Island, so what can they do?
That people, I do think, I've seen actual highly skilled political commentators, guys that I would consider skilled commentators, who dive into it and seem to lean into the, why don't they deny it? I don't really understand. This doesn't really make any
deny
sense.
it. I've never touched my daughter inappropriately in any way.
Yeah,
but only so many times
like he says that, he phrases it inappropriate. To him, it's only inappropriate if she doesn't like it, if she doesn't want it. If she likes it, then it's not inappropriate. I'm sure that's exactly what Ben is doing there with that phrasing, because that's how Ben is with words. Okay? To him, he's like, I'm technically right. It's not inappropriate. But, in which we'll find out more when we get to the Mr. Girl part.
You can say that.
Yeah, but
or any of my
problem,
kids, or a woman.
Problem, yeah, but the problem, Ben, is
although I did hit up Rachel once, and I do.
When you say words,
Andrew, if I make a simple point of saying, for example, that there are 15-year-old girls on the beach, and you'll say I'm doing this now, that there are 15-year-old girls you might see at the beach, and you'll have an instinctual sexual reaction if they're fully formed to them. I think that's an important thing to say, is absolutely uncontroversial. Now,
once again, Ben drops down the rake, it walks right into it. This is much worse. Ben dumps coal right in front of him, lights it on fire, and just walks through it. Andrew Wilson's like, what the hell? I didn't even ask this. Why are we going here? Ben can't help himself. He really can't.
Will people say you're a pedophile and a pedophile defender if you say that? Yes. Fuck them. And if it gets me clout by saying something which totally normal, which any normal human being would say, then that's great too. If that makes me infamous as a pedophile.
Yeah, okay. Well, then why don't you?
I got
why
a
don't you
dick and balls,
explain-
and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, can
and
you
my dick
explain?
and balls
Can
react
you
to
calm down,
beautiful
Ben?
women
Calm
of
down, Ben.
whatever age. In my case, after puberty, the same way everyone else's does, but we won't admit it.
Okay, Ben. Well, you know who else took this route? Mr. Girl.
Yeah, I
Do you
think
think
Mr.
it-
Girl.
Do you
Mr.
think it
Girl
did
had
well
some-
for him? Do you
I
think
think
it
he
did
did
good
something a little
for
bit
Max
different.
Carson?
I think he did
No,
something a little
no.
bit different.
He literally was saying the exact same.
Mr. Girl would say the same thing. In fact, Ben, I wouldn't be surprised, liked Cuties. He probably... Wait, does Ben even know that show exists? Oh, maybe that's why there's been this absence of Ben content. He discovered that Cuties exists, and he can't contain himself. Oh, could be.
Same thing that you're saying right now.
I think it
The
did
exact same
get
thing.
him
In
a
fact,
lot.
he went on Vosh's stream and they had an engagement where this
Yeah.
was his exact
An
argument to
engagement.
Vosh.
Yeah, I think he did bring some light to things. Yeah, by being
Yeah, and
provocative.
and
I don't
and how
think he
did that
always
work
rode
out?
the line right.
Yeah, how did that work out?
I don't know how it worked out. I don't
well,
think.
Well,
I
let
don't
me
think-
explain to you how it worked out. How it worked out was YouTube snuffed out his entire career, threw him off the platform. DGG dropped him. He ended up streaming to his own website and barely making enough money to scrape by. Now he makes edgy songs about being a pedophile.
Okay, how
which
did
is
our
fucking
Lord's
insane.
life work out? How did our Lord's life work out?
He
How
came
did
to
the
die
lives
for
of the
our
apostles
sins.
work
Max
out?
Mr. Girl is not Jesus. Is Ben trying to say Mr. Girl and him are like Jesus Christ? Okay. Okay, there. Is Ben like Jesus? That's a poll question here. Is Mr. Girl like Jesus? I might get struck down for just asking this. Yes or no? Oh God. Press that like button, guys. I'm gonna get another beer too. By the way, when we get to the Mr. Girl part, you're gonna need something strong to drink. It gets real seedy fast. Well, we're gonna speed it up because it takes a while. But yeah, it does get pretty seedy.
Carson did
How
not.
did the
Max
the
Carson did not
apostles-
come to die for your right to talk about underage women being hot to you, Ben. You didn't come to Earth
how
to
did
tell
the-
us that, Ben.
Okay, was he the way, the truth, and the life?
Yes, you're not.
Okay,
You
if I'm
talking
to be
about
in the truth
underage
and I
girls
say-
being hot? Out of the
That-
beach is
then
not the way,
I
the
am
truth, and the light.
unworthy. Would that I be worthy to suffer as he suffered? I'm not a baby and a bitch like you who has to make money with grifts. I don't give a fuck if I tell the truth and I tell it honestly and openly.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Make
You
it
make
all
up
come
shit.
Make
Ben,
it all
Ben.
come and crucify me. Would that I was worthy of the sufferings of our Lord.
Yeah, I know. What are they crucifying you for? Because you just have to talk about how hot you find underage women at the beach? You think
And right now you're being crucified for kicking your daughter. But it wasn't your fault. You didn't mean to kick her.
that's smart?
Yeah, I think it's smart. Yes, I do. And I
Okay,
think there are an
yeah.
increasing number of normal people, and I think you're one
Mhm.
of them, who recognize the truth of that statement, at least that is true. And that this hysteria about pedophilia makes no sense. And a lot of it is just envy from losers on the internet who need to get the fuck out of here. Now, if you want to talk about Mr.
Envy. Do you understand what that means, right? Ben is saying those that are like, no bueno PDF, no bueno that stuff is out of envy. Ben, you're just exposing what you're thinking. Like, you're exposing how your mind works even more with that statement. You shouldn't be around a school. In fact, you were in a school. You used to be a teacher, right? At a Catholic school? Used to be. That's past tense, bro. Used to be a teacher, not a teacher anymore. I wonder what happened. There was probably a situation where they're like, you quit, you resign, we press charges. Probably. Wouldn't be surprised.
The girl.
Okay, this part we're gonna speed up. Break. I'm not taking a piss. You don't believe me. Don't believe me. You don't believe. I just need another beer. Here we go. Or liquor or something. Hold on. We'll play this.
Oh, hello, Grace.
This is actually her dad, Ben.
Oh, sorry. Grace said hello in the chat.
She's in the chat. I can't respond to her or talk to her legally.
You can't talk to her?
No. I was arrested for a domestic violence because
you kicked her.
Well, yeah, well that's what they say. I kicked her. I committed assault and battery on her, supposedly.
Well, I saw the video. So if everybody who doesn't know, this is Ben Thorpe, father of Grace Thorpe, who kicked Grace a week or two ago and then was arrested for assault.
Oh, it was actually just about a week ago. Assault and battery. Yeah,
assault and battery.
Which I think you're from Massachusetts originally, so like
I am.
The volume
I'm in
here
Rhode
is
Island,
pretty
so
low.
blue states.
We crank
So
it up a bit.
The definition of assault and battery. Assault is actually the psychological.
Okay, let me tell you something. This part is pretty slow. I'll try to speed up a little bit for you guys. But what's important here is you do get to see how Ben plays mental gymnastics about how he's not responsible for the kick. But you also, towards the end of this, see how Ben justifies the close relations with his daughter. In a way. Like, he does practically admit it. Okay? All right? It gets real disgusting. Like I said, you're going to want to put some extra vodka in that mimosa. Is it? Oh, that's a screwdriver. I need to put more champagne in that mimosa. You need to get your bloody. Just take a shot of whiskey. Just take a shot of whiskey, honestly. Okay. All right, here we go.
State of being in fear and battery.
Right. Yeah, you assault
defined
somebody.
as
Yeah.
Any
The
unwanted,
actual contact.
Any unwanted touching. It's actually extremely broad.
Yeah.
And
like if you grab something out of somebody's hand, if they're a stranger, you can get arrested for that.
Right. It's unbelievably broad. Like if you tap someone on the shoulders and they don't want it, technically they can call that battery. But
battery.
Since the touching was not unwanted, it was crazy that I was taken to jail and processed and put in the court because it doesn't meet the definition. And when I asked the judge,
great
he
poll,
got mad at
guys.
me and told me that I needed.
Someone said yes,
and so
But it was,
that's funny.
You're being charged,
But not funny.
I was arraigned, yeah. And I asked him how it meets even the extremely broad definition. He got mad at me and told me that this is what was interesting. He told me that I don't have the right to pretend to beat up my daughter as entertainment, which I absolutely do. But that's not what I was doing. But I absolutely do under the First Amendment. I could pretend to
if you did like
mass murder people.
Right. If you did a skit where you beat her up, that would be legal.
Totally right. I mean, the First Amendment rights are incredibly broad. So for him to become an art critic, he's welcome to do. And I invited him at a rant stream, invited him to come onto YouTube, which would be the proper venue for that, and then argue about whether he thought my piece of artwork was, or our piece of artwork was morally good or not. But it has nothing to do with him being a judge. He was quite a character.
I would assume the counter argument is that he believes this is an ad hoc defense of a
Which
impulsive,
totally is.
Violent attack. I would.
Yeah, which it totally is, and you'll see here, of course.
assume this is
He actually articulated
Ben can't keep his story straight.
his theory briefly,
Okay.
and said that people change their stories. So she was super clear when she was questioned that there was no unwanted touching.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is if the supposed victim says there was no unwanted touching, and the supposed perpetrator said there was no unwanted touching, who then determines? So
That look that Grace gave you, Ben, when you kicked her, was total shock. That wasn't like, oh, this is part of a bit. And Grace is not a good actor.
the idea is that there's some women are manipulated into covering for their abuser. But I think de facto what that's saying is that women aren't human beings and can't, can't tell the truth if they're manipulated by men, which gets into some insanity.
Okay, can we test this definition that you're using?
Yeah.
Okay, so under the framework you just proposed, it is not possible to manipulate somebody else into doing something. Because if they do it, they did it of their own volition, and you can't be held responsible. So like Charles Manson, for example, if you start a cult of people and then you say, go kill this woman on this night, and they do it, we can't hold that person responsible because that would imply that the people who did it are not people.
And that's actually a proper framing of what Mr. Girl did, of what Ben was saying. Because Ben was saying pretty much, if you do something, like, yeah, I mean, Grace, you would say, well, Grace, it was not unwanted. Like, Grace wanted it. If Grace said, you know, she didn't, there was no issue there, then there's no issue, right? And no problem there. So the way he's framing this is pretty accurate to me. Okay.
Is that your position?
It's absolutely, they're responsible for their actions. Unless, I mean, you could say someone lied to you. If someone lies to you, right, and you are convinced that, like, you know, there's. But
the main thing here that he's going to get at is, well, Ben will like say that people aren't. He's going to say he's not responsible for his behavior for kicking Grace, but then in other situations he's going to change it because he's a dirty flip flopper. He likes to flip flop on that stuff, and he doesn't hold on to his actual like belief, because Ben's not a principled guy. He doesn't care about that shit. It's really just it works for me.
It's an absolute fraud, but if someone just tells you to murder someone and that murder is okay because I said it's okay, that's I think
so
that's
you don't
that
think...
person's responsibility.
By the way, press that like button if you don't mind, and yeah, man.
Okay, so you don't think Manson should have been arrested, I guess, because he didn't kill anybody?
He did it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly.
He just told his people what to do, and they did it.
If he didn't tell someone to kill someone, then yeah,
he did.
He should be held responsible.
No, he directly said, "Go kill that person."
Go kill him, man.
So should he get arrested for that?
Man, those rich people in Hollywood, you need to go kill him, man.
Should he be arrested for telling someone to kill someone else?
Yeah, if he amasses a cult, he has this little commune of people living there who all think he's a god, and then he says, "Listen, I want you to do something for me. I want you to go kill all these actors and directors or whatever in this house. Go kill them." Should he get arrested?
What would be the charge? Conspiracy.
I don't think it really matters what the charge is. I'm asking if you think he should be arrested.
Well, he's not guilty of murder, is he?
I'm not saying he is guilty of murder.
Like Ben just can't say yes or no on this, right? He's like, "Oh, I'm stuck here." He's like, he's buying time, really.
I'm asking you a clear, binary yes or no question. Do you think that he has committed a crime if he tells somebody to go kill somebody else and they do it?
Well, I'm not a legal expert, but if
it sounds like I thought you were a legal expert.
You're not a legal expert.
Based on the first half of this conversation. So
Surprise.
now
I'm an expert on assault.
I thought you were saying that judge is a bitch.
Battery, yeah.
Are you an expert on the logic of your own claims? And if so, I would like you to apply it. Okay, well then I would like you to apply your own opinion, a legal opinion. If you don't have a legal opinion, then I don't know why we're talking about your case, because you don't have an opinion. If you do have a legal opinion, then I want to know if it applies to just you or also other people. If it does apply to other people, I would like to know. Do you think that Charles Manson should be okay? Do you think
I don't know the details.
I don't know about being set up. I mean, he did have a commune of crazy hippie people.
To the Charles Manson case, but I'll take it on your word.
Yeah.
If you have like something on that, let me know for sure. If there's a video I could watch on that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, the hypothetical. It's not really about
someone to do something.
If we do that, that might be the next Sunday's Easter. Oh man. It looks like we're going to do a Saturday morning brunch then. It doesn't have the same feel to it. Does not have the same feel to it. We'll do a Saturday cult meeting, and we'll talk about Manson. How Manson was set up, man. Those rich elite in Hollywood set him up, man.
Yes.
I don't see the parallel in logic.
Well, I will draw the parallel, but I would like to know first if there's even worth trying to draw a parallel. Because if you're going to say even Manson shouldn't go to jail, then you're taking an extreme view of personal responsibility, which you may have. You may have that extreme view, but I want to know kind of where it is.
Ben does not have that extreme view. Ben, no.
So without trying to figure out why I'm asking you this, I'm wondering if you have an opinion about whether Manson, assuming he did what I said he did, which is form a cult, and maybe you don't even think he formed the cult. Maybe you don't think he bears any responsibility for that. But in the general telling of it,
you know what? Maybe we need more cults now. Maybe that will take care of the homelessness. We need more people like Manson, being like ringleaders, wranglers, homeless wranglers. They can live in cars in a junkyard and stuff, be off the street, off the their tents, and every now and then they might do something crazy, which would be very newsworthy, actually. You think about it, that would give them a sense of purpose. We need to bring back Manson cults. Bring back Manson cults.
He had this cult of people who all thought he was a god, and he told them to go kill somebody, and they did. Do you
I
think
he bears some responsibility for that? Yes.
Okay, so I'm trying to reconcile that with you saying that you can't have manipulated your daughter into covering for you, but if you can manipulate somebody into killing somebody else, because if you're saying if I can, yeah, because it's about who bears responsibility for what. So if the judge's view is that your relationship with Grace constitutes some sort of power dynamic where she is being controlled by you or manipulated by you, and then that is why her saying, "Oh no, I'm fine with what happened," would be subject to scrutiny.
Okay, but there's no evidence for that.
Yeah, he's just gonna say, yeah, like he just said, there's no evidence that I manipulated her. You don't know that I did, because he did do it. What he's saying, there's no evidence. He's saying, yeah, he did do it, but you can't prove it. And so what? He doesn't care about the Manson thing. He's like, his situation, it's okay.
For that.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but before I address that, I just want to say that your first...
While Mr. Girl and Ben are the same as far as being disgusting degenerates, Mr. Girl is definitely smarter than Ben.
At your first, defense...
That's a good question. I'd have to think about that. I would say if Donald Trump had told his supporters, storm the Capitol violently, but he himself didn't do so, he would be somewhat responsible for that. I would think that would be obvious.
I think so too. But of course he's the president, but is a father-daughter relationship, is there a similar assumption that because she is reliant on you or was reliant on you in some way, emotionally or financially or literally or whatever, is there a competing, okay, if she was 4 years old and you kicked her, and then the police say, is your dad bad? And she says, no, he's a good dad. Obviously that doesn't matter. So at some point, if you slowly...
We're going to speed this up. We're going to go 1.5 speed.
Move the power differential, then we have to believe what somebody says. But there is another point where we say, it doesn't, even if you're saying it, you're okay with it, it doesn't matter. But your defense to this was that if you could convince her to cover for you, then she's not a person. So I was bringing up the Charles Manson thing because I feel like I know you're probably using hyperbole, but it seems a little extreme to say that if somebody does something because you manipulate them into it, as is the charge.
Well, I would say, yeah, certainly if you have someone in a situation in which they're like, you're punishing them brutally, they're chained up, and they know they're going to face enormous consequences that will mitigate their freedom, there is no such condition in this circumstance. So I believe in America, if a woman goes back to...
They're saying you have to prove it, is what he's saying there.
You have to prove that there's
when
she has
distress
other options,
there.
then she is able to make that decision and should be respected as a human being with agency, unless she has some sort of, mental illness,
Grace has a mental illness.
She's retarded or something.
Grace is retarded.
Exercising adult decision making. And what's interesting about domestic violence laws, I've looked into them a little bit. They most disproportionately hurt women and children who they're supposed to protect. They're in fact have no effect deterrence-wise on, and they also affect minority communities more than they affect.
The minorities. Got to think about them. Okay, Ben. So look at this. Ben now is like anti-domestic violence laws because it affects him. Okay, Ben. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. The part where they start talking about his relationship with his daughter, I think it's about right here.
Incompetent and using her to cover for her, right? And I didn't see this going on. I probably should have seen it going on.
All right, we'll get into it. Ready?
But I grew up in a dysfunctional family, so I just saw abuse as normal. But when I did see that there became abuse between her mother and her, I stepped in and said, this cannot be. And her mother descended into an ongoing fake nervous breakdown or some sort of just complete mental breakdown that was unbelievably hard on Grace, which culminated in her having fantasies that Grace and I had a sexual relationship. Now, do Grace and I have a relationship where I treat her with a great deal of respect?
More like I would say more like a partner or equal. It seemed, or a mom, or
right. And did it at some points in this whole thing? Did she end up playing this even happened before she became a young woman. She would come to me after a tough day of taking care of the kids and kind of report to me how the kids were doing. So there was kind of a weird way in which
the Grace was being the mom of the house. Grace was being like the wife.
There was an intimacy there that I didn't really think much of, and she didn't think really much of. But certainly when she became a young woman, she had a legitimate right to say, like, so what the fuck here? You know, like, how come I'm doing all the dirty work and covering?
How come I have to be
woman?
treated
What's
like a
the
child?
deal? Yeah, and yet I don't get any of the perks. I don't get any of the respect. I don't
Okay.
get any of the intimacy.
What's the perk, Ben?
And all that stuff, and it is a tricky thing, and there is a dimension of incest in that. In
Yeah,
that,
so I'm asking how you've navigated.
Flat out, just say it. There is a dimension of it. What do you mean, dimension of it? What do you mean, dimension of close relations?
That, like,
yeah, it's
what
been
if-
extraordinarily difficult because
We're gonna back that up real fast.
it is a tricky thing, and there is a dimension of incest in that. In
yeah,
that,
so I'm asking how you've navigated that. Like,
yeah.
what
It's been
if-
extraordinarily difficult because most people don't understand that the vast majority of actual father-daughter incest has everything to do with the mother figure and not with the father or the daughter. There can be a predatory father. There can
Once again, Ben can't take responsibility for his actions. It's not my fault I got close to my daughter. It's not my fault I'm doing this. It's not my fault. It's the mom's fault. The moms ain't doing shit. Damn, Ben. Everyone else's fault, huh? Never your fault. Never your fault.
be a kind of spoiled brat daughter who's manipulating, but
You're
almost
saying that
always the problem is with the mother.
Okay, so you're saying
Now,
that
the Crucible guy is not on the call. And this is a different part of Mr. Grohl. I don't think Andrew Wilson and this guy would be on a call again. Maybe, I don't know.
the extent to which your relationship is incestuous, you were set on that trajectory by the mother.
Well, I mean, we all sort of participated in it, and yeah, if you mean there became a dynamic where, in a sense, I trusted Grace more than I trusted her mother, that's absolutely true. And if you want to call that incestuous, I would say, yeah, there does become like,
Well, it sounds
do become those dynamics, yeah.
Yes, psychologically it sounds incestuous, but I'm wondering how that translates into your physical interactions with her. Like, are you cuddling with her,
Oh, I
sleeping
bet
with
you
her?
do. I bet you do. You want me
Well,
to
the way you
feel
kicked
about it?
her in the video is not. That was not a fatherly kick. That looked like I'm angry at my wife kick, not daughter kick.
That looked like a spousal kick.
It did.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a tremendous amount of respect for her, and I mean,
I do have a tremendous amount. I have a tremendous amount of respect, which is why I kicked her.
I think there are still father-daughter dimensions to our relationship,
Yeah.
which are inevitable. So
She is your daughter.
The one thing I'll say about Mr. Girl here is that he was able to get Ben to like reveal more and more than a lot of us assholes were able to do. Because a lot of us never had a chance to talk to him. Just go right to it and ask him. And like you have to be really creepy about it. It's disgusting. Like I said, pour yourself a drink here. If you're not of age, just drink water, I guess. A seltzer's close to water. And you're gonna need it though. You're gonna need it for this.
and I do think she's also a remarkably intelligent and mature, but also very troubled girl.
Okay, it
because-
feels like what you're saying is that it feels like you're saying that you don't have many boundaries with her. And
I don't believe in boundaries. I believe in morality.
okay, do you think it is immoral to sleep naked with your daughter if she consents and she is 21?
I don't believe in boundaries. I believe in morality. What does that even mean? Oh, so there aren't any boundaries between them. He believes in morality, but I think he does like a funny mental gymnastics with his morality here.
Oh, I believe what the Catholic Church believes about incest.
Which is what?
Oh, that incest is disordered.
Disordered. Hey, well, so do you engage in disorderly conduct? I mean, I think you do. I'm pretty sure you do, bro.
Sleeping naked? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean like cuddling, sleeping in your underwear and cuddling. I'm not asking about like
Hey,
sex.
the B-Files.
I'm saying, do you think it's immoral or abusive
I would say
somehow?
it's disordered. I would say that's disordered.
Is it
Homosexual-
disordered?
I believe homosexuality is disordered. I believe that bestiality.
Okay, so cuddling
believe that.
cuddling while sleeping with your daughter is disordered?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she doesn't get any cuddles, but she gets plenty of vitamin D. The Bible doesn't say anything wrong about that. In fact, the Bible has that, actually. Think about it. It's one of the first stories, right? After the angels come down, Sodom and Gomorrah, all that stuff. It's been a while since I read the Bible. That dude leaves. His 2 daughters get him drunk. The whole thing. It's quite common. Quite common. And God doesn't seem to be punishing them. In fact, if anything, think about it. Adam and Eve, if they were the first, really, we're all a product of it. So really, morality. Oh my God! Like I'm trying to think like how Ben would think about this, and it's pretty messed up. Remember, Ben doesn't believe in boundaries. He believes in morality. But cuddling naked is disordered. You don't get that.
Do you think that's the responsibility of the father to prevent? Because when you say you don't believe in boundaries, I feel like part of...
I don't believe that's a useful... I don't believe that's a useful term for what I think you're talking about. But.
I guess I'm saying, do you think you have a responsibility to stop your relationship with her from being incestuous?
Well, that's an interesting
You
question
just
because
say
when
no.
things blew up, of course, when her mother started acting and continues to act extraordinary.
It brings up the mom. This guy always brings up other people. He can't take responsibility. Hey, you know what? When you make mistakes, just admit it. Just admit it. We all make mistakes. I have never made that big of a mistake before, but we all do stupid stuff. Right? Every single one of us has done something really damn dumb. You have to admit it. Right? Responsibility for your actions. Now, Ben can't do that. Ben can't take responsibility for his actions, which is why he's in the mess that he's in.
Ordinarily, irrationally. For example, I'll just give you one example. She at one point locked herself into a bedroom for 2 days, leaving Grace and I to take care of 5 kids during summer vacation with no explanation. She emerged from that bedroom and told us that the reason she had locked herself in the bedroom is because she had masturbated, fantasizing about me having sex with my daughter. And she was angry and also ashamed of having had that experience. So that's very...
If that's true, if it's true, that's messed up, man.
hard. That was very hard for both Grace and I.
I mean, I know the other half, Courtney doesn't really want to be involved in this anymore and all that stuff. But if that's true, that is messed up. That's disgusting.
Understand that an adult could behave that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it drew us even closer together as saying like, this fucking lady is like out of her gourd, bananas, right? And it's like, you have to understand, just put yourself in the place there saying like, what the fuck?
Well, again, I think I don't know.
It's very difficult to navigate because there's a certain intimacy in the trauma of this third person completely failing to recognize the massive problem that she's in.
Well, so to my mind, I don't think masturbating, thinking about your husband having sex with your daughter is particularly unusual.
Mr. Girl would say that. Keep in mind, it's coming from Mr. Girl, the same guy who took cuties. He's like, oh, cuties, I love it so much. Wait, don't clip that out. That's not me seeing it. That's, damn it.
Or disordered. It might be unusual to like really allow yourself to do that, but I'm sure the thought has entered many parents' minds.
But the part of it is locking yourself in the bedroom with no explanation for 2 days, with everyone wondering what the hell is going on. Then emerging and sort of telling your I mean at the time 18-year-old daughter that's what you did. It shows
that's what I'm saying is that
maturity that's beyond belief.
I think it's unboundaried. That's why. So I know you don't like the term, but I think that is a boundary violation when you tell your daughter you were masturbating thinking about her. I don't think
this whole thing is a boundary violation of my ears. But we got to hear it so we know more. Hey, you got to know. You want to know. I know you want to know. It's a train wreck. We talked about horrible things so far in the stream. We started with cannibals, real life cannibals in California eating people's legs. That's real, by the way. This is more disgusting than that. I'm okay with cannibals. I'm not okay with this.
I don't know that doing it is particularly...
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay. There's tension. There's frequently tension. I think this is... A lot of people think it's controversial. I know you don't have kids, but I don't think it's controversial to say that when a daughter... For a man, when his first-born daughter becomes a young woman, there's some sexual tension there.
Right, because she looks like a combination of you and your partner.
Right, and also she's now like sexually... She's a sexual person as opposed to being not a sexual person. I'm sure that most men have a little bit of trouble with...
No, we should gas both these people. They should be sent to Gaza. Okay, and whatever happens, happens. Honestly, both Ben Thorpe and Mr. Girl.
That
from how they behave, I would assume they do.
Yeah, especially in the era of porn. right? Because like this is what you've been clicking. Teen.
Yeah,
hot
your daughter.
teen,
If your
right?
daughter's
So now
18 and
she's-
if you're looking at 18-year-olds and porn and your daughter's 18, it's inevitable that you're going to make some kind of connection sexually there.
Yeah, I had a similar issue. It was again a very
This is so just oh god. Like now you wonder why if you ever question why Mr. Girl was taken off of YouTube.
minor issue, but when we first had our kids, and you're changing a little baby girl, the genitals are kind of surprisingly big, and they're in a certain sense.
I totally forgot about this part. This is the part where Ben is talking about his observations of when he was changing Grace's diaper. Grace is not his only daughter. There's another daughter too. A lot of you are fathers. I'm a father too. You probably had a daughter, right? Right? You changed diapers? Yeah. You wipe that shit, change the diaper, you're done with it, right? You're not staring. You're not observing. You're not doing weird shit. But Ben is. Ben has, I should say. Past tense, really. This is starting as a Sunday brunch. It might end as I want to just like stab myself with this pair of scissors. It's not gonna work. Not gonna work. I hope next time Ben and Grace have a road trip, they get caught on a train and it just and a homeless guy comes up, takes their limbs and start eating them. I hope that's what happens. Ben, I'm not saying I will do that. I'm saying I hope it happens. Okay? Remember, I'm a level 5 warlock. If I do Wiccan spells, it comes true. So, be careful, Ben.
Exactly what porn wants, which is hair free and all
Hairless.
this stuff. So
Yeah.
so it is a little bit like you got to do a little bit of a second, like a double take to say like, is it okay? You know what I mean? Is it okay? And then you get over it like maybe in 2 days, and you're like, okay, yeah. I mean, obviously this is now normal for me to touch this vagina, to wipe it, and all this other stuff. You move on, but I do think I think you probably would agree with me that that's not controversial and that should be fine for people to say, and that probably someone of my generation has an easier time of it than younger men who are more steeped in pornography. But I think pornography is inherently a kind of pedophilic and also homoerotic world, and I think that causes young men problems.
Okay, so you get used to the vagina after a couple days when she's a baby,
Yeah.
but then she gets older and she develops secondary sexual characteristics.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm trying to figure out how you're managing this, but if you're playing coy with some of the questions I'm asking you, but it feels like you're saying there's some element of sexual tension. I don't believe in boundaries. She's in control of all my money, and I kick her sometimes. It just feels like it sounds incestuous. I know you're not. I feel like I'm getting a non-denial denial when I ask some of the like cuddling, naked, sleeping questions. But when I look at your relationship, it feels like that piece would fit really, really nicely with everything else that you've.
I do think there would have been a relatively sort of easy way in which the trauma would have pushed us into a relationship in which she would just be sort of acting as a spouse. Yeah, I do think that we both had to resist that, in that neither of us had acted in ways that invited that, but that it's more complicated than you think when the other dominant female is your daughter in the household, for it not to become a kind of quasi-spousal relationship, which
but how does that actually manifest itself? But how does that manifest itself? Because it does sound complicated. I don't think it is more complicated than I think. I think it's
okay. Most of us would stop right here. Most of us probably would not continue asking, right? I think honestly, if on the call, if it was like the Discord guys, it would be like a lot of whoa, Ben, whoa. But one guy, I know one in particular, I would say Rizza, would probably be like, what the fuck, Ben? But he may ask. Oh, to dig this deep. Oh my God, it is so messed up. But if you want that skeleton to come out the closet, if you really want to see what's buried under the house, it's gonna get disgusting. The Thorps dirty laundry is pretty bad, dude. It's like going through a laundry basket of just soiled underwear with just diarrhea all over it. That's what you're digging into. Nasty.
Sounds.
Yeah,
I think
it's complicated. So you have to be extraordinarily respectful of each other. My main goal was to work out her mother's situation because I think she had, massive difficulties with maturity. So I was appealing to her to like recognize that the marriage never took place because she obviously didn't have the maturity to do so, and then we could kind of reorder the family in such a way that like there wasn't going to be this conflict between the incompetent mother and the competent young woman who was in some sense going to naturally threaten the position of the incompetent mother. And so this went on for about 4 years, about 6 or 7 hours a day of, pleading with this person who unfortunately was also very wedded, like, and pun intended, to this idea that she was in fact somehow a competent wife and mother who was trying to figure out, just was like right around the corner from being competent. For example, at one point, she literally asked Grace if she could service me sexually so that her mother could figure out how to be a spouse and come back and sort of get it right this time. That's someone who's really, 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 really far away from reality. And
is that true?
there was a certain logic to what she was thinking, but it's the logic of someone who would like to be a wife and mother, but who really isn't aware that the problems are so deep that you come up with these sort of ludicrous solutions. Of course, Grace was deeply offended, as was I, at that proposal. But I mean, I get her logic, but it's like, hello, are we even sane at this point? And there's nothing you can do. There's no one you can appeal to say like, we need someone to come in here and adjudicate this.
So through all of this, the underlying incestuous psychological framework, and you are painting this as though these women are totally in control of you, talking about the mother wants Grace to service you, and Grace wants to be treated like an adult.
Okay. I know Courtney wants to not be involved in this, but Jesus Christ, if that's even remotely true, if there's like a shred of truth to that, man, that is disgusting. There's people who want Courtney to not be involved and they want to protect her and all that stuff, and that's fine. I get that. And maybe you could say when she lived there, when she was in that environment, it was just cancer. It was just horrible. Okay, yeah, I get that too. I think she's trying to do better. Oh man.
Yes.
And you're sexually attracted to her to some degree, and you don't believe in boundaries, and she's in control of all your money, and sometimes you travel.
I would say she's sexually attractive. I don't know if I'm sexually attractive.
Okay.
This is a natural boundary.
Okay, and you don't believe in boundaries, and you believe that when you do things that other people would call losing control, that actually you're driven to do them. So you're saying through all of this, you have not done anything that someone else would call just straight up incest?
I have never touched my daughter inappropriately. Neither has she ever touched me inappropriately.
In a way that
I think Mr. Girl is going to question that inappropriately.
You kicked her on camera, so clearly our definitions of inappropriate are, or your definition of inappropriate is.
I actually think if you understood the context, I think you would say it was also appropriate.
I think that's probably unlikely, but I'm asking.
But right there was a big giveaway, given the context. So wait. Is there a context in which doing this with your daughter would be appropriate? Is there?
If you've touched her in ways
like
that
a reasonable person.
I'm asking if you've touched her in ways that other people would think is inappropriate, not you.
Well, you've already answered that question because you said that.
I mean sexually.
I mean,
he doesn't say no. He says,
Yeah, well, I slapped her ass once on a live stream. When she was
I'm not talking about things that there's already a public record of.
Well, I mean, so if I
look, everybody sees you.
Apparently, think that's inappropriate. I don't think that's inappropriate.
People see your behavior on stream. People see your behavior on stream, and they think, imagine what they do off stream, right? So my question, so I want to know, what do you do off stream? Is the ass slap? Is that you're acting more inappropriate in the eyes of the public on stream, or more off stream? I feel like my
well, there is this like kind of torture which goes on.
Guys, like I said, you're gonna need something strong to drink for this. It's disgusting. My Maker's Mark is on top of the fridge. All I have is this beer. I'll take shots during my reaction stream. I'll do some reaction videos today. They'll be over on Twitch though.
Off stream, even more than it goes on stream. This kind of playing the victim, which does create massive tensions. But and so it's a very volatile relationship. So
Yes,
if
that's what
someone was to witness that volatility, they might say that various moments of the whole thing looks like kind of crazy, and it's
You
much
mean in
worse
terms of-
off stream than it is on stream.
Okay,
But
in
it is
terms of-
not. It is not two people enjoying a whatever, like a quasi spousal relationship. at
Okay,
all.
you're saying in terms of violence or in terms of sex, it's more outrage or more out of control than it is on stream.
In terms of violence or in terms of sex, I would just say in terms of volatility in general.
What does that mean?
But I
Is it-
believe that she and I
Okay, we have a kick.
have an
and-
immense amount of respect to each other.
let me quantify this. We have a kick, a shove kick, and we have an ass slap. Let's say the shove kick is a 3 on the violence scale, up to 10, and the ass slap is a 2. How much higher are these two scales in private? Is what I'm trying to get at.
Do you
Interesting
believe that you're
question.
trying to dom me right now? Do you have a kind of a doming thing with your
Ben knows what's happening, but Ben doesn't rage quit just yet, does he?
therapy where you're trying to?
I'm not trying to do therapy. I'm trying to figure out what is going on in your relationship.
Because I'd like to propose to you, like, I think we have a lot in common, but I do think you have this thing where you like to be in control of other people. And I know that you're trying to say, like, I'm trying to examine, and that's fine. You can do that.
I will tell you right now, Mr. Girl will totally dom Ben Thorpe. That is a disgusting image. No one send me an image of that, please.
But I would like to propose to you that I'm better at doing this than you, and I can break you more than you can manipulate me. And not to like hurt you in any way or alpha you or anything like that. But I think you need that. I think you need people who will challenge you more.
Will stand
than
up to me.
You're willing generally to do that.
Okay.
To be
Well,
challenged.
I'm happy to answer questions you have about me, but I would like to know the answer to this question. A 3 is a kick, a 2 is an ass slap. How much higher, without going to specifics, how much higher do these scales go?
Well,
when
so
you say
you're
volatile?
asking me to give you private information between two people, which is none of your fucking business.
Oh, so now it's private information. Isn't this what they do? When I asked Grace and Ben this stuff, they eventually said they don't talk about it. Like Grace would say she doesn't talk about her sexuality. It's like, you do. But now you don't. But you do. But you don't when it really matters. Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you think it is or isn't?
No, I don't have
It's
a
none of
spec-
your fucking business. It's none
Yeah,
of
I
your
don't.
fucking-
I don't have a specific claim to this information. Although we are in a discussion where you are making
Sure.
you're making a lot of claims about your private relationship. So we see these slices of your relationship. Everybody thinks they're.
Well, I
like,
can
what-
give you an example.
But do
of something.
you get the position that I'm in if you tell me our relationship is
I mean, it
normal?
depends
then
what you mean by the numbers, because I mean, like, so if you say there are tensions which get to a much higher level, yes.
No,
yes.
I'm saying
for
action,
example,
not-
for example, her mother
Yeah.
put us in a position where we frequently couldn't see a way that we should.
Oh, so here's the thing I noticed about Ben. He'll talk about it if you frame it where it's on the mother. So I wonder if Mr. Girl worded the question, is there ever a time where you had to touch Grace because of what the mother did? Was there ever a time where you did something with Grace inappropriate because of the mother? Let's talk about that. If you wanted to know the truth. Like, guys, we already know it happened. It happened. We just want more clarification on it. It's sick.
shouldn't commit homicide against her to actually, like, there was no other means to solve this problem because she was obsessive. Like, so we would sort of engage in sort of like fantasies about
planning
ending
her
this
murder.
person's life. Not
Yeah.
planning, but sort of realizing, like, you know, that's the state we're
Fantasizing.
in. Homicidal rage at, like, a person who is, like, sort of like,
Yeah.
there's no possible way to deal with this person, and they're not being rational, and our lives are for months and years. Okay, and that receded at a certain point when there was some resolution, but it looked like this is a person with a death wish who wants to be taken out of life because she hates it so much, and no one else in our family can live. So is that a 10? I'd say that's
No, I don't. If you
That's
didn't do anything,
unusual.
No, I'm talking about either violent or sexual interaction, physical interactions. I want to know if we have a 2 and a 3, how much higher? What's the scaling up when you're off camera? Because
what's the 2?
the 2 is an ass slap and the 3 is a kick.
Ben really enjoys that ass.
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying
We're talking like
you wanna know-
a 5. Yeah, I want to
don't
without
you
going
just-
into
that
specifics.
laugh that Ben has with the ass slap.
Why don't
You
you just
clearly
ask the
don't-
question? No, but why don't you just ask the questions you want to ask? Has she ever sucked your dick? Have you ever penetrated her vaginally? Have you ever penetrated her anally? Right? Those are the questions you want to ask.
No,
You think
that's
it's
not-
appropriate to ask that of me? That is what
that's-
you're basically doing.
I think I'm asking. Well, I mean, if you tell me yes,
I wouldn't tell you that. I wouldn't tell you that if I wanted to. You know why?
why?
Well, do you think that would be appropriate for me to tell you those questions? Even
Well-
if I could tell you.
So it means it happened. That means it happened. But I like how Mr. Girl was not like discouraged from this. He still continues.
That's why I'm not
Nothing has
asking.
ever
I'm not
happened. I
asking.
wouldn't tell you because I believe. I see. You might say it's a boundary.
It's a violation
You
of
want to
Grace's
ask me about my
privacy.
fight? If you want, yeah, it's a basic intrusion into an area.
Okay,
that
so that's
you
why I'm
shouldn't be
asking-
intruding
that's why I'm
into,
not-
but you're doing BDSM with me, so you're feel fine to do that. Now you can say I'm establishing a boundary with you, but I'm not. I'm enforcing a basic norm. People
are the
don't
same.
normally ask about people's private sexual lives.
People
And
don't normally
wouldn't
say
tell you
that I-
anything
people
about
don't-
my.
People don't normally say I have a kind of incestuous relationship with my daughter who I kicked on camera in front of you. So it's not a normal situation. It's not a normal
I do
situation.
think that there are
It's-
certain aspects of it that can be shared, and then there are other aspects that belong. I mean, obviously, I don't.
Okay,
believe that
so you will not
everyone's
get
right to
yourself.
know
So you're saying
everything
you will not answer this question. A numerical value representing approximately, in your own view, without explaining what it means, how much more sexual and violent your relationship is in private than it is on camera. You will not answer this question.
I think I've already answered it, but if you're
No,
going to
numerically,
find-
you will not give you will not enter a numerical value.
I don't know how I would assign a number. To
We'll just
like
just
that,
throw
but
out a number, whatever you think.
I mean, I have no idea what you're talking.
He is breaking down Ben. Ben, how are you gonna get out of this? You gonna give that number?
What's the number? Am I rough with her physically and violently outside of
More so.
the stream? No,
Yeah,
I
more.
would say. I mean, I don't have a problem talking about that aspect of it because I don't really think there is like a privacy issue there. I think I'm extraordinarily gentle physically and always have been with
Okay.
my entire family.
Really?
So
But not all the time.
I would
obviously.
say like that kick.
Is that
something
the,
of that level has maybe happened 5 times in 5 years. So I'm happy to talk about that
Okay.
with you.
Oh,
If
but
you
the
want
sex-
to know about sexual things, I wouldn't answer the question. If you could ask me a question, which I wouldn't have a problem with necessarily. When's the last time you masturbated, Ben? When's the last time you looked at pornography? I just feel like I could share that
No,
with
he can't. So here's the thing. Most people would just say no, that doesn't happen. The fact that he's playing these games, man.
someone. I feel
Yeah.
like it's beneath my dignity to.
He has to
Even
protect this information.
if my answer would be I haven't done it in.
Okay, so telling us
But
about
you can say that my sexual life and Grace's sexual life are something that you have some legitimate interest in knowing about, but I disagree. People
Okay.
ask her all the time, "Are you a virgin?" I don't think she should answer that question one
Okay,
way or the
so-
other.
Which is why she does it. There's not a single thing Grace says that's actually an original thought. She's been broken down, psychologically abused, physically abused. I mean, sexually. But well, with the kicks and stuff too. But psychologically broken down to the point to where she doesn't have any more thoughts, original thoughts. When they do come up, if they do come up, there could be those breakdown moments that we see every now and then. But most of everything is programming from Ben. Well, just watch one of the streams. She talks exactly like Ben. She talks like Ben. She has Ben's vocabulary. She doesn't even know the stuff she's talking about. Like, when you are talking with Grace, you're talking with a little Ben. That's all you're talking to.
Are you saying that you cannot answer whether you have an actually incestuous relationship with your daughter or to what extent you do, because doing so would
So
because
you
doing
are actually doing this thing. Go
because
ahead.
doing so would violate her privacy because you'd be divulging the details
As well as mine.
You'd be
well as
divulging the details of her sex life. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you say I can't tell you that I don't have sex with my daughter because that's her private information, that
I
doesn't
don't
make
talk
sense.
about sexual. I don't talk about. You can ask me about my finances, right? Okay. So
He's about to say, I don't talk about sexual somebody's stuff and stuff, because you do. You give out so much about other stuff, man.
get out of something like this, and you can say like how much money do you have?
But I don't want to know
If
that.
you're
Everybody
gonna
wants
have
to
it-
know.
No,
Everybody wants to know this. They don't want to know about your
Okay.
finances. They want to know
Okay,
this.
are you familiar with the term prurience?
Yes.
You know what prurient means?
Yes.
It means an inordinate curiosity about things that have nothing to do with you.
I
So-
have a sexual disorder that makes me wonder if you have an incestuous relationship with your daughter. Yes. There's something
So
wrong
go
with
on
me.
Pornhub and you can
There's some-
like change.
I don't
the
want to go on
faces.
Pornhub. I want it the real deal.
Well,
I want
I
to
think
hear the
that's
real
where you
stories.
should go.
I don't want a
You know,
fantasy. I want
This is where Mr. Girl goes full on. He's already degenerate. I'm like, wait, okay. Mr. Girl plays his ace here, and Ben reveals a little bit.
the
I
real
have
thing.
had a number of often very attractive women who have wanted to do like incest play with me. Oftentimes they have experienced incest themselves, and I do engage in it with them.
That's tofu.
And I think it's therapeutic.
That's-
And I will
that's-
tell them I've done stuff with Grace or whatever. If you want to be one of those people, I would consider doing that for you because you have a problem. But
No,
I think you
I
should
want
be
the-
more respectful. But you have a problem with being disrespectful.
I want to know the truth about your relationship that you dangle in front of everybody. I want to know.
I don't dangle it in front of everybody.
You do.
Well, I mean,
You
I have a
make a-
relationship with Grace. We co-stream. So does that?
Do you co-stream? Do you co-sleep? Co-shower? I want to know about the boundaries in your relationship and to what extent they're there.
Well, I told you I've never touched her inappropriately, nor has she touched me inappropriately.
Your definition of inappropriate might not align with mine, so I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
That's-
You want videos?
It flat out says it.
No, I want a number.
I wouldn't tell you if there was
I'll-
something
I'll-
that was interesting to you, and I wouldn't tell you if there was
I
absolutely.
just want a
nothing
number.
that's
If
interesting
2 is an
to you.
ass slap, I want to know how high the scale goes. If there's I just want a number.
All right, so you admit you have a sexual disorder.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't believe in helping people do further their sexual disorders.
You just said that you'd role play with me and tell me sex stories about her while I masturbate.
That's messed up. Oh my god, this is so gross.
As
I
a
want
form
to.
of therapy, because maybe you
What? That's a form of therapy.
It'd be very therapeutic for me if you would tell me
No,
on
I've
a
done
scale
that myself.
of
no,
on a
because
scale
it's
of
causing you to act antisocial.
No.
Well, once you tell me, we can move on.
Social skills.
Once you tell me the number, we'll move on. We can talk about.
That's what all the perverts say. Just one time. Just let me
No,
put
I
the
promise.
tip
I
in.
will never ask
Just
you
let me put
another.
the tip in.
I will never ask you
I
another
don't care
question.
what you do.
I promise. I swear on my life. If you could say a number, I will never ask you another question in this line ever again.
Dude, you should ask yourself why you have this curiosity.
Because I want to know.
Can I ask you before? I'll answer your question, but
Okay.
Can I ask you one question? Why is it that people are so fascinated with this? Because it isn't something that Grace and I put out there. This actually started. I started as a religious YouTuber, and
We're gonna end it right here. Yes, I'm gonna tell you what. No, actually, we'll go to the very end. If something happens, something's caught on. So Ben, I'm gonna sum it up. I'll sum it up. Ben says like it may not be as entertaining as you might think, or as exciting as you might think. But Ben does eventually get into like is it BJ's and stuff like that you're looking for. It's pretty sick, guys. We got so far into this. I think we all need a shower. We all realize that this family is far beyond gone. And another example, another proof that God has left us, forsaken us. Let me play. I think it might be caught on this. Let me see.
in fact,
I'm
this
not-
act
I'm-
itself of me disclosing, because you said almost at least a month away, because
Yeah.
I don't know if it's caught on the Naptown version, but they're at the very end. He says something.
not only are you playing BDSM with me, but the state of Rhode Island is playing BDSM with me and forcing me to do all this torture because they can't handle masculinity and they need to try to stomp my balls with a stiletto. So
Yeah.
I refuse to do so. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Thanks for calling in. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. The call's still on. And I hope this version captures it. It doesn't. It doesn't.
It should be like a special.
Okay. At the very end, you're going to have to take my word for it. Ben says, "Oh, you are here." To who? Possibly Grace. There's only one person he said that to. It would be Grace, which he has a no contact order on. So, Ben, you're breaking the law. You're breaking the law. You have contact with Grace, even though there's a no contact order. That's bad. I'm not going to call the cops on you. I don't give a damn, but someone may. So, whatever. I don't give a shit. Anyway, this is a very disgusting Sunday brunch stream. And cannibalism wasn't the most disgusting part. That's a palate cleanser. Like this guy right here, chowing down on a human leg. That sounds good to me about now. That sounds good to me. This guy seems more normal than Ben. Okay? He's just looking for some sustenance. He's looking for food. He's surviving. Ben is disgusting. Oh my God. Ben and Mr. Girl should be shipped out to Gaza, and whatever Israel does is what it does, and whatever happens, happens. This was a Sunday brunch stream, guys. We'll probably do our next stream on Saturday. Once a week. I'll have a little break, and then I'll stream later on Twitch, reacting to music videos, as you know. All right. With that said, you guys take it easy and have a good one.